Mazuma TV back in the building, man. What's going on, y'all? Shout out to Mazuma Nation. Shout out to the Mazuma Mob. We in the building as always, man. I hope everybody's having a blessed, beautiful, positive, productive day. On my way to go get it as always, man. I hope y'all doing the same, man. On the road to 1,400 subscribers, man. Shout out to the nation. Shout out to the mob for making this possible. We growing quick. And I just appreciate everybody for their support, man. It's been amazing. It's been a hell of a ride so far. But what I want to get into today is the whole situation that's going on with Canelo Alvarez and who his potential opponents may be in May. You know what I'm saying? He pretty much took over Floyd's fight days after he retired, man. He's fighting on Cinco de Mayo weekend along with Mexican Independence weekend. You know what I mean? And there's been a lot of rumors that's been going around. And this is pretty much a discussion that we had last night on the live. If y'all have not seen it, please go check it out, man. Great informational video. Just chopping it up with the nation and the mob, man, answering questions and talking about potential fights that could be coming up, who's gonna win, talk about Devin Haney and Regis Prograis fight week and all that good stuff, man. Go check out the video. But this is pretty much an extension of the live last night. And what I really want to get into in this whole situation is who is Canelo Alvarez gonna choose most likely in May? You know what I'm saying? He already got that first fight out of the way and that PBC deal against Jermall Charlo. I mean, he looked all right, man. He let his hands go. He looked like he was in pretty good shape. He looked focused. I wouldn't necessarily know if he's still on the decline or anything like that because Jermall didn't really provide any resistance, but nonetheless, he got the victory. One fight out of the way out of this PBC deal. He's looking to complete his second one. And according to Michael Benson, shout out to him for this tweet and keeping us informed of what's going on with Canelo Alvarez. He says Jaime Mungia, Jermall Charlo, and Terence Crawford are reportedly potential opponents for Canelo Alvarez in May, with David Benavidez being a potential opponent for Canelo in September. This is according to ESPN Knockouts. So this is a pretty much a reliable source, man. ESPN is one of the biggest sports networks, if not the biggest sports network in the world. And I'm sure they wouldn't put anything out there that wasn't solid or coming from a real place. You know what I mean? And all honesty, at Mazuma TV, bro, I believe this. You know what I mean? It's a 3-fight PBC deal. I think that Canelo understands that David Benavidez is the biggest fight to be made for him in his career right now. I think that that fight with Benavidez attracts the Mexican fans heavy. I think it generates a lot of revenue. It's going to sell out wherever it goes, especially if it's in Texas or anywhere near Mexico. It's going to sell like crazy. You know what I mean? And that'll be a good fight for him to end the deal with and ultimately cash out. So I genuinely believe that he's saving David Benavidez for September. And I think David Benavidez knows that as well. That's why he's looking to fight somebody around the same time as Canelo. You know what I mean? Now, in terms of how the way Canelo moves and how the way I think he honestly plays chess, because if you guys could rewind back to when he fought that first fight with Triple G, there was a lot of people who demanded that fight. They wanted that fight so bad. And before he fought Triple G, he fought Chavez Jr. Now, y'all asking, yo, like, why you even, what this guy do or anything? What I'm telling you is Chavez Jr. and Triple G provided a similar type of style. Now, Triple G is a lot better, harder puncher, all that good stuff, better jab. But what they had in common was they were big dudes. They were real big dudes, and they applied pressure, and they were just solid overall individuals. You know what I'm saying? And I think Canelo fought Chavez Jr. not because he didn't like him or it was Mexico versus Mexico, but I think that it was because it was going to help him going into the fight with Triple G. I'll give him a sneak peek into what it's going to be like fighting Triple G. In the meantime, Canelo wasn't fully acclimated to the 160-pound division, so I honestly believe that he just needed a look to get him ready for what he should expect against somebody like Triple G. You know what I'm saying? Just getting his feet wet and pretty much like a pre-camp for Triple G. You know what I mean? And looking over these potential opponents, if David Benavidez is the last fight to be made in September, I'm sure he's going to take a fight that'll get him ready for David Benavidez in September. I honestly think he thinks ahead like that. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, Terence Crawford, I honestly don't believe that Terence Crawford is anything like David Benavidez. I think we can all agree on that. Totally different fighters. They do different things. So I don't necessarily think Canelo's going to look in his direction. I could be wrong. This is just me with the best educated guess possible. Jermall Charlo, I mean, they were saying how they would potentially fight Jermall after Jamel and things like that. I heard Canelo trainers say that. But if David Benavidez is the fight that's going on in September, I don't know if Jermall is anything like David Benavidez as well. I think Jermall is more economical with his punches. He's a hard puncher, big dude. You know what I mean? But for the most part, stylistically, he's not really like David Benavidez. So when we get into Jaime Mungia it's not probably, it's definitely the most similar to David Benavidez than the other two that I've mentioned. Big dudes, let their hands go, apply pressure. You know what I'm saying? So I would not be shocked at all if Jaime Mungia and Canelo Alvarez were to happen. You got to think about it. Jaime Mungia is like 42-0 with 33 knockouts. Hasn't really fought anybody worth mentioning. You know what I mean? Some solid names like Toriano Johnson, Sergey Derevchenko, Gabe Rosado, and he's supposed to be fighting John Ryder, who's a former Canelo opponent. So this is all assuming that he defeats John Ryder. You know what I mean? So he got a good record. You know, he's Mexican. They might be able to sell that. Mexico versus Mexico after Canelo said he wouldn't fight any Mexicans. So it might do some numbers. Yeah, I mean, there might be some people that's backing Jaime Munguia, but that fight looks like it'll probably make more money than the other two as well. You know what I mean? The Terence Crawford, John, that'll attract a lot of attention because Terence Crawford is moving up 3 weight classes. But I don't know, man. I think the Mexican people will really get behind this fight, and they definitely do some numbers between Jaime and Canelo. You know what I mean? But that's just my thoughts. You know what I mean? So if I had to really choose who Canelo may face next, based off of this list right here from Michael Benson, I'm thinking Jaime Munguia is the route that he's gonna go. I wouldn't be necessarily shocked if he chose the other two, but based off of how the way Canelo has moved in the past and how the way he gets ready for potentially how he gets ready for big fights. You know what I'm saying? I think that he will take this direction. I think that he'll fight Jaime Munguia because it's going to be a solid payday. Mexico versus Mexico. They could probably sell that out in Texas. And he's a similar style to David Benavidez. So he's pretty much knocking out two birds with one stone. Get his money, you know what I'm saying? Get a solid win under his resume, fighting a young, hungry lion that get him ready for the ultimate line, the ultimate monster, and David Benavidez. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I honestly think about this whole situation, man. I know for a fact that David Benavidez is not going to be an opponent for May. So hopefully David Benavidez realizes that and he makes a fight happen in May. You know what I mean? And if he's able to get Jermall, Charlo, or anything like that, that would be great because that'll just limit Canelo's options going into September. You know what I mean? But that's just my take on the whole situation, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this right here. Canelo Alvarez looking at Mungia, Charlo, and Terence Crawford as potential opponents in May, with David Benavidez being saved for last, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments below. This is Mazuma TV. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm out of here, man. Peace.